that flows like no other. Dog, I get at your mother, bone your baby sis, and play the stoops and blow spliffs with your baby brother. Pretty and chubby, not fat, that's baby blubber. Keep a magnum and not the rubber. Been nice before Boosie was hollering at baby Bubba. And I hate you like my baby's mother, baby brother. Now who's this? The poster child for who's the snitch? So we ain't gotta ask who's the chick. Dog, I paid dues for this. So why you giving feds clues to this? Your family gon' catch the blues for this. So every cop that you tip off, my click gon' let it clip off and blow your whole damn tip off. A whole lot of hooping and hollering, grave flowering in between the verses of Solomon. F leave 'em, let's go. Man, I ain't worried about your crew, scream at me. And I ain't worried what you gon' do, scream at me. And you said you running with who, scream at me. I'll bring it to them, I'll bring it to you.
Where you at? Where you at? The king of the smack. What up, where you at? What up, where you at? King of the smack. What up, where you at? What up, where you at? Yo, I rock from South Bay to LA, from NY to Texas. You seeing who the best is, homie, now check your records. I'm reckless, you better call the EMU. These rappers getting played like a yo, I'm dedicated. My rhymes be meditated, I'm heavyweighted. The best been demonstrated by the forces of 40 horses. Awesome portrait, like the torches. I'm living lawless, I'm flawless, I'm raw, kid. Like WWE, y'all don't want trouble with me. I dare y'all to rumble with me. I pummel your team, I'm hotter than steam. So fresh and so clean, I'm moving, son, you know what I mean. Untouchable, tight with my fams like the Huxtables. Quick to treat a rapper like ham out the Lunchables. No one can stop me, dog, no one can top me. Big V, crossing more checks than hockey. What up, where you at? What up, where you at? The world is my ring, I'm the king of the smack. What up, where you at? What up, where you at? The world is my ring, I'm the king of the smack. Yo, I'm a dentist, no, I'm a chiropractor. Type to take your spine out with a spinal jackhammer. Analyze the parasite, war vessels popping, brain tissue targeted, Vader bomb bombing it. Watch out, Vader in your trick box surprising. GP shine like the sun on the horizon. I'm sick, I'm deeper than the pitch black hole. When you whack rappers gon' dish that flow, I introduce you. My mind itself is a computer, digital master. Memory stored inside my cap of finger taps. Murder rhyme, keyboard steps. Call me the B-boy, breaking rappers, destroying rappers' raps. Ploy the heat seeker, you only getting weaker. Quickly I display these time bombs out your speaker. No danger, stranger, you strictly off the hanger. Bang after banger, instant, will I remain this? What up, where you at? What up, where you at? The world is my ring, I'm the king of the smack. What up, where you at? What up, where you at? Where you at? The world is my ring, I'm the king of the smack. Yo, my fighting skill is designed to kill any fighter who's thinking that he's kinda ill. Cause when it comes to fights, all your luck is bad. So I'm putting all your other stuff in bags. This is my ring, you ain't touching my rope. At the spur of the moment, you next to get choked. So pass the belt, I'm in the greedy phase. Yo.
The time comes when we must stand and fight against the odds. And the size of the opponent can make no difference. To be a real champion is the ultimate test. To win is the ultimate goal.
I came to crush anybody in my way. They getting hit with the chin music. Punk straight getting it. My team versus your team ain't a thing. Take it to the ring, fight to the extreme. We can go from night till morn. Wild out, everybody get it on. I catch you out there with the Polish hammer, throw you to my man, and watch you earth slam ya. We number one, and we bad for your health. You got no help, we snatching those belts. I knock you out of this building, boy, cause I came to crush, kill, destroy, crush, kill, destroy, destroy. Crush, kill, destroy. Smackdown, raw, now we fighting for to see who the champion is. Once more, is it you with the signature move? Is it you with the heart that refuses to lose? Is it you for the tap out? 1, 2, 3. Is it you trying to lay
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. On the way to the ring, from Japan, weighing 205 pounds, Tajiri. From Long Island, New York, the superstar.
You don't want war if my feet stomp my heat, pump in the streets, jump. Yeah, you don't want war. My feet stomp the heat, pump the streets, yeah, jump. Come on, you don't want war if my feet stomp my heat, pump in the streets, jump. You don't want war. I knew the time when I was wanted by them Keystone cops for keeping the hardcore music in the streets so hot. We never focus on the don't haves, cause we have not. I put the focus on the vocab, now we have not.
Ladies and gentlemen, Raw has come home for one of the biggest events of the year, live in the heart of New York City.
They don't come any bigger than the Big Apple, JR, and they don't get any better than the superstars of Raw.
They sure don't, King. New Yorkers don't impress easily, but there's no doubt in my mind that the Raw superstars are more than up to the task. Excellent counter. What ring present? New York City.
They don't come any bigger than the Big Apple, JR, and they don't get any better than the superstars of Raw.
They sure don't, King. New Yorkers don't impress easily, but there's no doubt in my mind that the Raw superstars are more than up to the task.
I thought I'd pick the winner before the match started, JR, but now I'm having second thoughts.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, King. Usually I wonder if you've even had first thoughts.
These superstars are gonna tear each other apart.
That's exactly what the fans paid to see, King, and they're not going to go home disappointed. So, King, any predictions about the outcome of this match?
Oh, no. Every time I make a guess as to who's gonna win, I never hear the end of it from you.
Maybe that wouldn't happen if you got one right every now and then.
These fans can't stand it when he does this, JR, but I think it's great.
He's sure not going to win over any fans with that move, but I don't think that bothers him too much, quite frankly.
I'd ask you who you want to win this matchup, JR, but it's been pretty obvious since the start of the show who you're pulling for.
I'm trying to remain as objective as I can, King. Quite frankly, I'd rather see a good competitive matchup than see a particular... He's got that submission hold locked in! He's got that submission hold locked in! He's got that submission hold locked in!
He sure does, JR! He might make his opponent tap out right here! Oh my gosh! This could be the finisher!
Boy, what a match. I wouldn't even hazard to guess as to who's going to win this thing.
What? Have you got both your contacts in one eye, JR? It's been obvious to me since the start of the match.
Oh, really? Well then, why don't you just enlighten the rest of us, King.
No way. I can already tell this is going to be a great match, but I don't want to ruin the ending for you.
You're too kind, King. You're also full of horse manure, as far as I can tell.
These superstars are putting everything on the line here in this match.
They sure are, and they're doing it all for the WWE fans. Without them, there'd be no WWE.
I just don't get Tajiri, JR. All of those kicks.
I think the damage has been done here, King.
One good submission could end this, JR. I wonder how long these superstars will be able to keep this up.
They'll go as long as they need to, King. And if they can't, they won't be having their arms raised after the match. That's for damn sure.
One.
I think we're going to find out just how much punishment the human body can withstand here tonight.
I think you're right, King. These superstars seem intent on taking each other to the limit.
I love that attitude, JR. Go big or go home.
Well, these superstars sure aren't going home until this match is settled once and for all.
What are they going to do next?
I couldn't even begin to guess, King. That's why they say anything can happen here in the WWE.
You know, JR, when I saw this match on paper, I wasn't too sure about it. But it's turned out a lot better than I thought it would.
I'm not at all surprised, King. I knew this was going to be a terrific matchup.
Oh, come on, JR. You're just talking through your hat. And speaking of hats, when are you going to get rid of that silly thing anyway?
Right about the time you stop wearing that crown, I would say.
I could watch these superstars go at it all night, JR.
So could I, King, but all good things must come to an end. Let's just hope it just doesn't end too soon.
Can you believe we're actually watching these superstars go at it, JR?
It's great to see, King. I've been looking forward to this match for a long time, and I'm glad to see that it's not a disappointment. He countered that and made it look easy.
Looks like they've slowed the match down a little, and I think that's some good strategy right there.
It certainly is. I'm sure they're well acquainted with the old expression, fools rush in.
Is that why you always seem to be in such a hurry, JR?
I think I've eaten a little too much good Oklahoma.
Always seem to be in such a hurry, JR?
I think I've eaten a little too much good Oklahoma barbecue in my day, King, to hurry anywhere. A reversal. Can he capitalize on it?
He's going for the cover, JR.
1, 2.
That wasn't even close to 3. I wonder how far these superstars are willing to go to get the win here tonight.
As far as it takes, King. We've seen them put their bodies on the line time and time again. And I'm sure tonight will be no different.
Flat on your back with your shoulders on the mat is no place to be. Watch out! He reversed it! He's looking for that finisher, and he can do it here.
1, 2, 3.
Looks like things have quieted down here a bit, JR.
Well, you can be certain that won't last long, King.
That's for sure. I haven't seen the superstar yet who goes down without a fight. Remind me to never try and step between these guys, JR.
That would be hazardous to your health for sure, King.
Oh, man! That's gonna change the tone of this match, JR.
Yeah, and not for the better either. I wish the ref would actually pay attention to what's going on.
How can these fans love Tajiri as much as they do, JR? They can't understand a word he says.
Maybe so. But Tajiri's actions speak much louder than words, King. Tajiri earned his fans in the only way that matters, by being an outstanding competitor in the ring. I'll be honest with you, King. This...
Remind me to never try and step between these guys, JR.
That would be hazardous to your health for sure, King. And now a pin! This could be it!
2.
They're taking it down a notch, JR. This could get interesting.
They're picking their spots, King. You got to know when to hold them and when to fold them.
This is great, JR. Would you call this one a slobber knocker?
It's too early to tell, King, but it's definitely one hellacious matchup, no doubt about it.
How can these fans love Tajiri as much as they do, JR? They can't understand a word he says.
Maybe so, but Tajiri's actions speak much louder than words, King. Tajiri earned his fans in the only way that matters, by being an outstanding...
He's a 3 count away from a pinfall. Oh no, this is terrible. You can't let your opponent build this kind of momentum.
Well, all I can say is someone's been eating their vitamins and saying their prayers.
1, 2.
It's like he read his opponent's mind.
I tell you, King, sometimes I get exhausted just watching these superstars compete.
I know what you mean, JR. I don't think most people appreciate what incredible athletes these WWE superstars really are.
You've got to have some... He went straight for the pin.
1,
No flies on
2.
him.
I think it's pretty obvious which way this one's gonna go, JR.
Well, from my perspective, this is still anybody's match.
I'd like to see things from your perspective, JR, but I'd have to get my head out of my rear end first.
And Lord knows it's been up there for so long that that would be no easy feat.
1, 2.
Did you ever think you'd be watching these superstars compete against
3.
each other here tonight, JR?
I had a feeling their paths were going to cross sooner or
4.
later, and I'm glad I'm here to see it.
Me too. It almost makes it worth having to sit next to you and listen to those corny expressions of yours. What the heck is a government mule anyway?
It's what you get beat like when you're in the middle of a slobber knocker. And if you don't have the guts to stick around,
Mule anyway.
it's what you get beat like when you're in the middle of a slobber knocker. And if you don't have the guts to stick around, you might run like a scalded dog.
Mule anyway.
It's what you get beat like when you're in the middle of a slobber knocker. And if you don't have the guts to stick around, you might run like a scalded dog with a case of the limber tape.
All right, enough. I'm getting a translator before I have to come out here with you again. He can hit his finisher right now. These superstars are beating the heck out of each other, and this crowd can't get enough of it.
It's what they paid to see, King, and they're getting their money's worth. You're not going to get him with that. It's what they paid to see, King, and they're getting their money's worth tonight. King, and they're getting their money's worth tonight.
They sure are, JR. There's no question these superstars are earning their paychecks.
Oh, for the love of... Talk about having no respect for your opponent.
Well, if you've got a problem with it, maybe you should do something about it, JR. You can look at any professional sport you want, JR, and you won't find more incredible athletes than the WWE superstars.
You're not wrong, King. They compete every week until they are physically incapable of continuing. There's no off-season in the WWE.
We're not talking about running a ball down a field or slapping a puck into a net. This is serious physical competition.
It sure is. The toughest athletes in the world are on the WWE roster, and that's a fact.
Let me tell you, JR, you won't see action like this anywhere except on Raw.
That's for sure, King. There's not another brand of sports entertainment out there that can compare with Raw.
Now, if only we could get that through Michael Cole and Taz's heads, then they'd stop running their mouths on SmackDown. Boy, these superstars have impressed the heck out of me here tonight.
Same here, King.
One.
We expected a solid match. We're seeing a great one unfold.
2.
These superstars are going to put each other through wrestling hell tonight.
They've already got a pretty good start on that, JR.
They have indeed, King. I don't think there's an ounce of quit between them.
Yeah, and that's where things get dangerous. If you're too proud to admit that it's not your night, you might wind up risking your career for a single match.
But at the same time, King, no one makes it up the ladder without pushing themselves to the very limit. It's a very fine line to walk. I've got a feeling that this has all the makings of an instant classic.
That's probably just gas, JR.
Well, I did have some good old Oklahoma barbecue before tonight's show, but a textbook reversal there.
What do you think of the match so far, JR?
I think these superstars...
I think I see where this one's going, JR. I don't think we're very far. These superstars are so unpredictable, this match could go another 30 seconds or 30 minutes.
I hope it's the latter, King. It wouldn't hurt my feelings one bit if this match lasted the rest of the night. Hurt my feelings one bit if this match lasted the rest of the night.
I don't think I
Hurt my feelings one bit if this match lasted the rest of the night.
This is the perfect chance for a finisher. What a counter! think that these superstars have even contemplated the fact that they might lose. I don't think that these superstars have even... So who do you think is going to win this match, JR?
I'm not even going to...
I don't think that these superstars have even contemplated the fact that they might lose.
I'm sure...
I don't think that these superstars have even contemplated the fact that they might lose.
I'm sure they have.
I don't think that these superstars have even contemplated the fact that they might lose.
I'm sure they have. That's not the kind of attitude you come in with and expect to pick up the win.
You're right about that, JR. If you can't see yourself having your arm raised by the referee when it's over, don't bother showing up.
I don't think his attempt to get this crowd on his side is paying off here.
He's not trying to get the crowd on his side, JR. He's letting everyone know that he's going to win this one, whether they like it or not. After some of the things we've seen in this ring, JR, I think we'd better remind the folks at home not to try this stuff themselves.
That's for damn sure, King. The WWE superstars are trained professionals.
And even they don't walk away from every match in the best shape.
They sure don't. We've seen more than one superstar taken out of here on a stretcher.
What a finishing move! I get chills every time I see it. These superstars sure aren't going easy on each other here tonight.
What's expect, King? This isn't ballet, you know.
Oh, really, JR? Gosh, tell me more about your in-ring experience.
Well, I've got a pinfall victory over Triple H to my credit. How about you?
I hope these superstars can make it through this match without... This could finish the match right here. I think I know who's going to win this one, JR.
Oh, really? You're liking this, King.
Oh, my gosh, JR. That's it. The match. Well,
Here's
there's no
your
question
winner,
who won that one, JR.
The
Not at all,
superstar.
King. The referee counted the pin, and that's all she wrote.
I'm sure not everyone's going to be happy about it, but that's what rematches are for.
With my feet, stomp my heat, pump the streets, jump. You don't want war if my feet, stomp my heat, pump in the streets, jump. Yeah, you don't want war. My feet, stomp the heat, pump the streets, yeah. You don't want war if my feet, stomp my heat, pump in the streets, jump. You don't want war. I knew the time when I was wanted by them Keystone cops for keeping the hardcore music in the streets so hot. We never focus on the don't have, cause we have not. I put the focus on the vocab, now we have not. I grew up the hood too, the music getting corrupted the sound. And went from state to state with microphones busting it down. A lot of people really hate it, then they loving it now. Cause they raised the label advancing the sound. You don't really want a problem, cause I might hurt you. Drama keep me flipping just like that work do. Made a lot of songs about the I work through. Always kept it underground just like that dirt do. Trying to catch the kids slipping. I leave your ribs tripping. I leave your nose running. I got them pros gunning. Wow, the streets will leave you rapping is easy, but your mind forget you left up in the pool of fashizi of my feet. Stomp my heat, pump the streets, jump. You don't want war if my feet. Stomp my heat, pump in the streets, jump. No, you don't want war. My feet, yeah, stomp, heat, pump, streets, yeah, jump. Come on, you don't want war. your eye black, left in the fire. The left hand to get your Kanye, jaws in the wire. I take the truth and make it work for me, just like a lie, and bring all kinds of to you, just like a fly. Freddie Fox back in the game, the question is why? And the answer is cause I don't see the streets in your eye. Off the top rope I fly, landing the hammer hard on your head like Chinese grammar. Yeah, we got cars and we pay people to drive them. I'm behind bars with the punchlines up inside them. You can talk about the thug life, but you ain't hot. You'll be posing for a mug shot and you'll get dropped. Cause the long arm of the streets corrupt some cops. They used to help Freddie Fox stick up blocks with my beat. Stomp the heat, pump the street. Yeah, jump. Come on, you don't want war with my feet. Stomp the heat, pump with my street. Yeah, jump. Come on, you don't want war with my feet. Stomp the heat, pump my street. Yeah, jump. Come on, you don't want war with my feet. Stomping that heat, pumping them streets. Jumpy, you don't want war. I put the rap game metaphor inside of the ring and took the heavyweight title belt and gave it a blink. I put the battery in John Cena that made him a beast and made it safe for world wrestling to come in the streets. Now we eat like kings. The pinky ring is bigger. Trying to take it back to the basement. Holla at me, Tigger. It's the 45 Dawn. I'm scared of nothing and no one, cause most of these cats is bluffing. I take it all and give them nothing, like real pimps do. Don't leave them fancy cars unlocked. We steal them too. The grimiest, rhymingest dude that'll eat y'all food and put a gag order on the hood. I wish y'all would. Tell it, cop my name on face and show them a flick. I put it point blank at your face and blowing it quick. Everybody know the program, I'm showing a flick. It's called murder in the rap game, producing the hit. It's bomb, beat, stomp, come on, beat, bump, my street, jump. Yo, you don't want war with my feet. Stomp my beat, bump the streets, jump. Nah, you don't want war with my feet. Stomp the heat, stomp in my streets, jump. Beat, you don't want war with my feet. Stomp this heat, pump them streets, jump. Nah, you don't want war. Come on.